I never wanted to remember what happened to me, but if I don't tell someone, I feel like I'm going to lose my mind. These events happened when I was 17 years old. 2 months ago, my great-grandmother died. Her name was Margaret Collins. She was difficult. That's the kindest way I can put it. If I said she was unbearable, I wouldn't be exaggerating. Margaret lived to be 91 years old, strong, sharp, controlling. She had a reputation. She treated almost everyone with cruelty. Relatives, neighbors, even her own daughter. Everyone, except me. For reasons I never understood, I was the only person she was gentle with. Whenever our family visited her old house in the countryside, she would insult everyone without hesitation. But with me, her voice softened. She spoke kindly. She gave advice. She protected me. She always said, "No one will ever hurt you as long as I'm here." No one in the town liked her. Not the neighbors, not even my grandmother, her own daughter. And because of her favoritism toward me, my family resented me. They constantly reminded me that I was special, that I didn't deserve her affection. Only my younger sister ever defended me. Her name is Katie. Margaret didn't love Katie the way she loved me, but she never mistreated her either. On the day Margaret died, my sister and I weren't home. Katie had just started college and I had moved to another city for school. We shared a small apartment together. We were always close. Living together felt natural. When my mother called me and told me Margaret had passed away, I couldn't breathe. I had seen her just 2 weeks earlier. She was energetic, sharp-minded. You would never guess she was over 90. The rest of my family didn't seem affected. She was old, they said. It was her time. But I was devastated. She wasn't just my great-grandmother. She was my person. I returned home for the funeral. My parents acted as if nothing had happened. My father even joked on the way to the house. I couldn't understand how they could behave like that. At the funeral, the atmosphere was the same, until my grandmother, Margaret's daughter, arrived and said something that changed everything. Margaret had prepared for her death, and she left everything to me. The house, the land, everything. That's when the hatred became obvious. People who hadn't shed a single tear suddenly looked at me like I had stolen something from them. But that's not the worst part. During the funeral, something happened that still makes my hands shake. I approached the casket to say goodbye. Margaret lay there peacefully. Then, her eyes slowly opened. I screamed and stumbled backward. People rushed to calm me down, saying it was normal. Muscles relax after death. Maybe. But imagine standing there, surrounded by people who hated you, watching the only person who ever loved you open her eyes in a coffin. That night, I stayed in her house. My grandmother pulled me aside and whispered, "I didn't want to tell you this, but before she died, Margaret kept repeating your name." Then she added, "Be careful, sweetheart." At the time, I didn't understand what she meant. The next evening, I returned to the city. Katie wasn't home yet. I assumed she was out with friends. I was exhausted and went straight to bed. That night, I woke up to strange noises in the hallway. Footsteps, movement. My only comfort was knowing my sister was sleeping beside me. I shook her awake and whispered that someone was in the apartment. Half asleep, she checked with me. The door was locked. No one was there. She told me I had dreamed it and went back to sleep. I barely rested. The next morning, everything fell apart. I woke up to loud noises in the kitchen. Dishes, movement. I assumed Katie was getting ready for class. I called out to her. No response. I called again. Silence. Annoyed, I called her phone. She answered, confused. "Why are you calling me so early?" she asked. I laughed nervously and told her to stop making noise. There was a pause. Then she said, "I stayed at a friend's place last night. I thought you were coming back today." My blood froze. If Katie wasn't home, then who slept next to me? Who walked through the hallway? And who was in my kitchen? I ran out of the apartment barefoot, still in my pajamas. I collapsed in the stairwell, crying uncontrollably, until an elderly neighbor helped me check the apartment. It was empty. That night, I dreamed of Margaret, but she didn't look like herself. She screamed at me with a rage I had never seen. And then she said, "Why did you let them bury me alive?" I woke up screaming. The nightmares continued for days. She demanded I dig her up, begged, threatened. I couldn't take it anymore. We returned to the countryside for the ninth day memorial. I told my grandmother everything. She listened calmly and said, "Don't worry, it will end soon." That night, Margaret appeared again, but this time she was weak, broken. She whispered, "Do not dig me up. That wasn't me coming to you. Something else was." I woke up suddenly. Katie was crying beside me. She confessed she had been having the same dreams. And then I saw it. Dirt and soil under her fingernails.